The silence is really deafening, according to Jim Cramer, and this is one of the few times I actually agrees with him. Because now all eyes is on Jensen Huang, who actually met Donald Trump recently, and apparently there's nothing coming out from him, neither Trump. So now we must watch 10-year yield because that should have an indication of what happened as Donald Trump has implemented tariffs on a few countries, and I see there are reports saying that they might retaliate. This is going to be a big video for today. You really have to do this risk management and prepare for things to happen. Now, one thing that Singapore got in limelight recently because they are being questioned regarding about DeepSeek chips, right? We all know that recently DeepSeek has caused a lot of mayhem in the market, and now this NVIDIA says that Singapore accounts for almost 22% of its revenue, but added that most shipment associated with Singapore revenue were location other than Singapore, and shipment to Singapore was insignificant. Now, why is this happening? Because apparently there's some reason to believe that DeepSeek have obtained some export control products via Singapore. Yes, indeed. So the question is, if a country like us, so a small country, yet we purchase a lot of chips. So the question is, where do you go next? And that's where the market is speculating. Now, we all know that this Jensen met Donald Trump recently. And in fact, after he has met him, there was no aftermath. No one talked about it and no one have anything. But of course, they did mention that this meeting is supposed to keep hush, as the details are not supposed to be allowed. But you know, Donald Trump, if he actually create or he knows something and he have created a sensation out of it, or he may have something about it itself, he will come out and talk about it. But he didn't. So the thing is this, we can see that the share price was going up before the meeting, and after the meeting, the share prices keep on going down towards the end of the day. And apparently now, look at the some of the data outside this weekend data, it seems that the NASDAQ may keep on falling. And this is whereby you can see that Jim Cramer was being asked and they were like talking to him. And I totally agree, because now everyone want to ask is, does Jensen Huang has the same confidence that he had previously, whereby everyone, when he said that, you know, the chips are really in high demand and they are really has lots of orders coming in. But now with DeepSeek coming out itself, even Meta have said that they may be looking for alternatives. The question is, would it be the same? Because the NVIDIA share price went up because of that. All the associated shares that's linked with NVIDIA also went up because of the forward earnings. So if, let's say, DeepSeek is going to change and become the main supplier, this is going to hit the market. And of course, we all know that right now, right, many people, right, all the billionaires, the whales have bought a lot of the NVIDIA H100 GPUs. So the question is, if they bought it and now they realize that the thing they bought is not the cost is too expensive, the question will be, where will they look for alternative? And that is where NVIDIA will get into some serious trouble. Because remember, Elon Musk has came out and say everyone and their dog is buying GPU right now. So pretty soon you have them buy them in the back alley. So this is all this thing going crazy before DeepSeek actually happened. So just to get a quick check on DeepSeek again, what's the main easy way to understand this? Okay, very simple. Now, apparently, it's all right. DeepSeek claims that they have trained V3 using 2,000 specialized computer chips, all right, basically from NVIDIA. Then basically it's much lesser than other companies who use up to 16,000. So the cost itself is much higher. So to put it into simple layman understanding, right, it's just basically you own a Ferrari that can basically drive at a very top speed. And now another so-called locally China car comes in and drive the same top speed like Ferrari. Then, of course, the cost obviously is so much different. So which car would you buy? Of course, you say that the design is better. But the thing is this, is that really true? Would you be buying only the design? So the thing is that we all know that Meta had launched out this Llama back then is an AI. But until today itself, we don't really see it. And look at the cost involvement. One is 15 million, one is 5 million. So it's very clear that somehow things is going to change. And because of that, right, you can see that for this OpenAI, they do charge consumer. But we all know that now the cost for this DeepSeek is so much cheaper. And in fact itself, right, is in renminbi. So all this tells me that you should be worried, NVIDIA and all the associate. And of course, DeepSeek is not a simple company. Now, DeepSeek recently basically have really incredible team members. In fact itself, right, Lei Jun, one is basically right from this Xiaomi, offers millions in salaries to lure an AI genius over, but of course she rejected it. Now look at the China this company, look at their people inside there. Oh my God, they are all from the top university in China, like Tsinghua 大学, 北大大学, and all the 博士学位. This is incredible. These are all the top ends university in China, and the professors are joining in to DeepSeek. So this is not a simple company. As a matter of fact, now the Chinese are leading the AI field. Look at it. This is the ChatGPT Open AI group picture. You can tell me that what do you see? And in fact itself, even Elon Musk, his own XAI, look at it. This really tells you that things is going to change. And of course, even the top brass in the NVIDIA or AMD, all these people come from a certain group of, people in the world. So all I can say is this is going to change the world. And I think that DeepSeek is here to stay, guys. This is something that you cannot deny this. So now the thing is this. Even Reuters, oh my God, do something interesting recently. Now, Reuters basically came out and report and says that Donald Trump is expected to, have the new tariff on Canada and Mexico on March the 1st. Wait a minute, I thought it was February, right? So apparently when the news came out, they says that it's from 3 people familiar with the planning, and they told Reuters. And Reuters obviously just basically, say it out. It's not wrong. They just basically follow what they know, right? But we all know that the share price or the indexes had to fall right here after that. Now, of course, you can see over this period of time, the boys were all buying. That was okay. But at this junction here, we realize that our indicator has already informed us that something is wrong right here. And that is why I tell you guys, this indicator of mine is really impressive. And this tells me that boys are actually selling. So then what happened? Apparently, after that, we all know that Donald Trump came in and says that no, they are going to implement this. They are going to continue to implement the tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China yesterday. And now things is going to develop from here because this is not good. Apparently now there are reports saying that they are going to retaliate, especially Mexico and Canada. All right, China has been quiet. So we look at this right now because apparently we all do know that 10% is kind of lower than what they expect. Donald Trump say 60% on China during his campaign. But again, all this can change. So across Guangzhou right now, people who do a lot of skincare products are very worried because they think that now exporting to the US is going to be very expensive. And of course, with the thin margin, they are hoping to pass the cost of tariff to the customer. So at the end of the day, it's going to help USA, the government, but it may not help the people. And this could increase inflation in USA, which we said that many times. And as a matter of fact, right now, we saw this weekend data shows that the NASDAQ is down by 200 points and the Dow Jones is down by 200 points too. This is going to create a mayhem tomorrow in the morning, and that's why I'm rushing this video for you. Now, the S&P 12-month EPS, earning per share versus current, is kind of wide right now, and we have seen it before when this kind of, when it's like too far away. You can see from here. Let me just spin the color a little bit. When you see that the thing is that it's too far away, there's always this thing that's a pullback. So every time when the EPS and the current is too far away, there will be a pullback. So based on what we're seeing right now, if the pullback do come in, oh my God, we may see the S&P pulling back to 5,100. Now, I don't think that will happen immediately. It needs to have something very terrible to happen. But the pullback from where we are right now at 6,000 to pull back to maybe 5,800 to even 5,700 is all very possible. Yeah, so I'll come to that very shortly. So with all this information that you see earlier as well, you can see right now the percentage of stocks trading above the 200-day average itself is not fantastic. In fact, itself from since January 2024 until now, you can see that most of the time they were trading above the 200-day average, but now it has dipped down, and this is not good. In fact, we've seen this type of movement before, and we saw that what happened to the stock market actually get pulled back. So with this information right now from this Bravo research, it happened before back in 2022, whereby a good percentage of the stocks was trading above the 200-day average. But then again, once it dipped below, that was a peak of the S&P 500, and the market actually tanked 25% after that itself. So one thing to note, the stock market is running on low inflation, low interest rate, and low oil prices, right? But the problem is that now we are having a bit of rising inflation, interest rate seeming hanging there, and oil prices is kind of a low side. Does it mean that there will be some selling soon? And the US government bonds, this is the main thing that is now holding the market. And we can see right now the 10-year yield is showing us something important. Now, every time the 10-year yield hit my trend line here itself, we can see that it basically bottomed out, and that compared with the Williams Position Indicator is basically spot on. So I suspect that we will see this again. We're going to see the 4.8% happening on the S&P 500, and if that happens, I believe that the stock market will pull back quite a fair bit because the market doesn't want this. And we know that the Jerome Powell and friends are not looking to cut interest rate in the near term. So this will give the selling wave in the market. So right now we can see that if you put S&P Treasury yields with the S&P itself, you can see that the drastic, the divergence between them. Whenever the 10-year yield goes up, the stock market pulls. All right, so it's not going to change. I believe that it will happen again, and this time around, 5,800 would be my target for this time. Now, of course, some people say, Cal, you are being pessimistic here. Things will get better. No, guys, you must understand the market has been going up because of NVIDIA on the chips and AI. So now we have something different, can be much cheaper. You can imagine the repercussion of this. This is not going to be fun. Now, to make it even better, I realized something very important. Now, for all my students, you will know what a BMB stands for. It's a big movement bar. And oh my goodness, we saw it again on last Friday. And that's why I'm urgently sending this video out ASAP. Now, you can see that every time when there's a BMB in a market, big movement bar, we do see the market itself basically is the top here, and the selling will not be small. And in fact itself, right, every time this happens, there is a pullback of a size. So with this, I suspect that the pullback will come down here. There will be a very important support at 43,767 because that was where the low was when DeepSeek data came out, and then everybody got panicked. But then again, they pulled it up because, boys came in to support the market. But this time around, with a BMB involved, I kind of believe that the boys have purposely pumped to dump the market. Okay, it's a pump. Pumped to dump. So apparently, I believe that this is going to happen. And if that happens, the market should pull back to the 95% mark, which is 42,883. Okay, so it's kind of like this. But if you look at this and this, there's a breakthrough. That is where the bottom will come out later. So I suspect that the same thing may actually happen before we have that rally recovery. So all this video is very important. Keep it up. This is going to help you in the market. And last but not least, we mentioned this before, the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ came down because of DeepSeek. We know that. Then after that, we noticed that when the index went up again, our KSI indicator, the big boys indicator, tells us that the boys are actually selling. Now, we have done this many times before, and every time we see such a move, we know that if the market fails to stay, the market will pull back to where it starts. So it's possible to see the NASDAQ coming down to 20,600. The last time, the closing on last Friday was this 21,400 series. So which means that from where we are right now, there could be a 800-point pullback again. Now, of course, we've seen it before. It happened on this very day. Guys, this can actually really happen, especially if Jensen Huang decide to keep quiet and then things get worse and worse. All right, hope you like this video. This is impactful. Share with your friends. This is Cal signing off. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.